hello people, and welcome back to another episode of City Showcase. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are looking at the vanilla city of Los Palmos by Autobox in what is one of the finest vanilla builds I've ever seen on the channel. There's some really nice detail across the city, with strong influences from one of our favourite creators, Imperator, noticeable throughout the build as well. Let's take a look around this, shall we? This is a really nice build. So as with all these cities, it's a case of where on earth do we start? Immediately, my eye is drawn toward the airport. As I mentioned in the intro, that this city is pretty heavily inspired by Imperator's Los Angeles series, the last vanilla build that the German genius did. And this airport is certainly taken from that series, but Autobox has done a wonderful job of recreating it. Really nice kind of central mall design here for the terminals. And a great use of one of the more awkward uniques as well from the Africa in Miniature pack. This one is really hard to place, but it really belongs at home, doesn't it, in kind of an airport forecourt like this, with a little bit of signage there too. LPX, obviously, kind of depicting the airport's code. So a really nice airport build, takes up a huge spot as well. I'm assuming the city also isn't finished, as there are a number of interchanges out here as well. That just have dead arterial connections, so expansion to come for this city as well. Away from the airport, there's a number of different builds here. It's a really varied vanilla city. We can see a monument down here in the Farmland, which is the first time I've seen the Chirtwick Castle used in a setting like this within a farm. Got some very nice network design with pathways, bush lining. Always happy to see this kind of detailing. Some props making an appearance around these gardens too. I'm assuming this is maybe supposed to be a kind of castle gardens is the vibe he's gone for here. But it's very nice, lots of nice prop line work here. Nice views of the skyline too. So it's also functioning as a forestry plantation as well. Which is a really nice way to use the smaller trees actually away from the actual industry's functionality. Kind of sapling to baby tree and then out into larger, more significant plantations. This spills into more industry where there is a lot of water and sewage processing here, a bit of ore storage too. This is a really creative use of the monorail lines. I wonder if this is supposed to be some kind of like, I guess representing maybe like steel beam storage almost looks like, doesn't it? Very creative repurposing of a vanilla asset there. I really like that, very nice. More industry allows us to spill back onto the highway where we emerge into a big old mall complex here. With the Glass Eye Arena. One of my favourite ones, and Bad Peanut that. Yeah, a huge mall complex to complement the stadium. With a really nice respecting of the malls. Autobox has used the pedestrian roads really nicely across most of the city. We'll see a few more examples of this today as well. But look at all the detailing. All the circle bushes and nice trees. Respecting of a sight line always earns points. Possible Spice Award here maybe. It's a really nice design with the Glass Eye Arena. As that then spills onto the mall complex, which has some really nice prop work out the front of it. Look at this. I've actually just recorded something very similar to this in Rannoch, which is super cool to see. Some parking around the back here as well. A little bit of industry processing for the mall. So really cute to see a whole bunch of vanilla prop work present in the city too. Really nice. Service point over here as well. With lots of tables in a big plaza that continues to make up the mall complex. A great use of the bus station in here as well. Let's have a look at the public transport actually. We'll always check these out. Let's have a look what the ridership is. So 4,000, 7,000, just over 12,000 people in the public transport system a week, which is nice. And then further across here, let's see, where do we come to next? We've got a prison build over here. A really nice use of a prison complex. Always fun to PCs together in vanilla. An integration of a sports pitch in there as well, which is quite nice. Bit of outdoor recreation for the prisoners of Los Palmos. Across the river, we come into one of the more definitely unique and interesting builds in the city. A really fabulous repurposing of the liberal arts college stuff with lots of pedestrian rails. Like, look at this. Real nice sight lines across the whole city here. And it's a shame that these aren't hooked in at the other end. I think it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Would have been great to see people walking up and down this mall, but again, real good use of a tough to use unique. The Arc de Triomphe is really hard to use in vanilla, but almost kind of a Brandenburg Gate sightline that we had in Noob Yoke, wasn't it? With using one of the more difficult to use European uniques here. Lots of really nice detailing with colourful trees, fence lining too. Yeah, it's just an absolute pleasure to watch. There's all people moving around here as well. It's kind of, I guess, I don't know what you would call this, a country estate. Does the build have a name, I wonder? Maybe we can check out the district name. It's the residence of the Lord Chirtwick dynasty, so I guess a palace is what he's tried to go for here, isn't it? And real great use of vanilla decals here as well to expand the university fountains. And it's all just boxed in and framed by these pedestrian pathways. This is what I mean, like the pedestrian pathways have been used so nicely across the city here. I really love this kind of double system here as well. It's just a really creative build, this, isn't it? I really like how this turned out. Super inspiring for me. Always love trying to repurpose a campus into something other than a school, and this is a great example of how you can do it. Looks like to be a little palm plantation on the estate as well, which is nice. It's super creative. It's always nice to see things like this. Tram pedestrian roads at the front of the campus as well. Let's see if we can spot a stop along here. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Big fan of this area. Zoom back out, we come to, I guess, the rest of this coastline over here, where we come into what is a kind of a smaller CBD. There are a couple of skylines across the city. There's another one over there we'll get to shortly as well. Nice vanilla zoo here. Real nice entrance design with the car parking. He's got buses coming and going from here as well. And yeah, just a very tastefully put together city, this one. It's always love seeing other vanilla builds. I think you've got to be so much more creative without all the mods there to help you. I always love seeing these vanilla parks. They're always so creative as to how people can put them together. And this sits really nicely as part of his downtown space. We come across more sight lines with the pedestrian pathways. Right down into a big metro plaza here, which is super nice. Always love looking at this asset. I can't wait to get this in Rannoch. Nearly 2,300 people a week coming through this one. Again, that occupies a nice beachfront location with a big harbour jutting out here. Great use of more difficult to use uniques. I really like that position in there. More great centralisation on that big mall, isn't there? Very cool. More beachfront activity over here. See what he's done. Some nice dirt pathways kind of switch backing down towards the beachfront with another unit building. A little bit of nightlife along here as well. All very inspiring. Nice use of the rock walls here as well. Oh, he's even managed to use the Eiffel Tower. Now that is a difficult one to squeeze in, isn't it? Hotel along here as well before we spoke to more hotels. DLC over here with the Copperbone Arena. Another nice centralised plaza here. Toolbox is a big fan of his pedestrian roads, isn't he? And it's good to see people using both sides of this station too. Bit of a transport hub here in front of the big obnoxious hotel. Which is, again, a very difficult to use asset, but with centralised sight lines with pedestrian pathways, it really settles in, doesn't it? Also works very nicely, this asset with the wall-to-wall. All that kind of big modern architecture vibe all blends together quite nicely, doesn't it? Assuming the rest of this bit over here isn't finished, given the empty spaces, he must still be building out here. Frames to expand and whatnot. And then we just fall into a low-density suburbia in this unfinished part of the city. I got some of these big mid-century modern blocks over here as well. These are always nice, these ones, the kind of very much a Parisian vibe, isn't it, these assets? I really like how these all piece together. And there's more transport infrastructure, real integrated public transport network, which I always love to see. Elevated pathways getting lots of use, whereas this one going down just crosses to the other side of the street back to that metro plaza. And at the old market station asset in here as well. With lots of expanded prop detail underneath. That's very nice, isn't it? Look at that. Little tram hub around here. This is great vanilla prop work. The bollards and the benches. Great use of decals as well. Something I don't use enough. These decals, it really helps to break up that concrete, doesn't it? Very nice indeed. Really creative work. Another bus station then spills into the downtown, which is made up of mostly unit buildings and a little bit of green cities. Cathedral down here too. Again, lots of really nice network action. Love this here. Little custom tram stops that cut into the landscaping. And then people, he's even got the pathways there as well so they can walk back and to across the stop. Super cool. Love little custom tram stops like that. And then this spills back into another little unique plaza where we find Eiffel Tower. And yet more tasteful pedestrian work. This city is certainly sponsored by pedestrian paths, isn't it? Really like how he's using. They're pretty much everywhere. I actually wonder, I don't think there's a way to check as to how much we spend on pedestrian areas because they are expensive. But he does have a lot of them. Is the economy balanced actually? I didn't check. It's minus 223, but of course it can fluctuate, of course, so it may go positive. But really nice landscaping at the front of the Eiffel Tower. And definitely one of the more difficult assets to use, but I think it blends in pretty nicely here as part of a grander park space, doesn't it? We'll have to see if we can use the Eiffel Tower at some point. I don't think I've ever placed that asset down. And that rounds off this little corner of the map. We've also got the Arrowhead Park over here as well, with lots of appropriate car parking for a stadium of that size. And even what looks to be a little sports campus over here as well. Combination of Bad Peanuts assets, with some landscaping, vanilla parks in there as well, and a high school. Love to see a little school sports campus like that. I wonder if it's maybe tethered as a bit of a youth academy, perhaps, for this stadium. Maybe like a main training complex, maybe, is the purpose for that. Big and banked train lines with lots of rock walls, which I always love to see. And then this spills out into more residential over here before we do see another airport. We'll check out why we're over here. Again, you can really see the imperative influence with the airports, can't you? With the kind of the mock runways using the decals, or the airport aprons, rather. Super nice, huge runway as well. It's just absolutely massive. Almost the width of the full city, isn't it? That is a long old runway. But very nice, again, really nicely configured. Before we arrive our terminals over here. Where are the actual gates, I wonder? How is this operating here? Unless I'm missing it. Where is this plane going? Is he just going to land and take off again? Where is it? Where is he going? I can't see. Oh, they're over here. They're over here, you idiot. Cool, yeah, so he's not actually using the terminals, is he? Because you can place the concourse and then delete them. And it will remain connected, as you see here. Well, I guess maybe this is a cargo plane, is it? So it's perhaps slightly different in the way it operates. But very cool. Really nice airfield. A great detailing for vanilla. And we've also got the barracks over here as well. So maybe this is operating as a bit of an air force base if he's got all of the, what I'm assuming are kind of mock army barracks. Next to the airport, we arrive at some really wonderful industry. Nicely detailed industry as well. Including the vanilla incineration plants here for a little bit of a garbage processing center. Where we arrive at what is pretty heavy and very busy oil industry too. There's also another oil refinery as well, a little bit further deeper into the city. Over here we can see a campus. I always love a campus build. Let's have a look what's going on over here. Great use of the unique buildings. The School of Tourism and Travel, I think that one is it? See if it is Tourism and Travel. My campus memory serves me right. Great prop work around a bookstore. Is that one? No, it's not a bookstore, is it? Is it the library? No, it's not. I'm going to have to check. Which one is it? Yeah, it is the library here. Really nice. Great kind of open plaza spaces as well present in the campus. Really respected all the sight lines again. Lots of nice part work. Very compact campus too. And that really blended it into the cityscape, hasn't he, with those larger uniques. Looks like there's a varsity building over there as well. A couple of them actually. Yeah, super nice. Love the Japanese metro outside of the campus. That's very nice, isn't it? Great use of those restroom props as well from the Railroad of Japan pack. And with more pedestrianised roads and more great little plaza prop works around here. It's a really, really well put together city. Nice little water feature. I believe he is playing with extra landscaping tools as pretty much the only mod. Alongside Find It as well, I imagine, given the presence of industrial props. But besides Find It and extra landscaping tools, this is pretty much unmodded, which is super impressive. More car parking and stadium vibes. He definitely respects the car parking for these huge stadiums. It's always a kind of a key visual for them, isn't it? Again, more sight lines with the basketball arena here too. The 3 big varsity stadiums all within pretty close proximity to each other. I'm actually surprised these homes over here are surviving. What's the noise pollution like here? That's crazy. How are they happy? I didn't think you'd manage to get low, especially next door to nightlife as well. That's I'm not sure what's going on there. They should be suffering noise pollution, but they seem to be happy. Beyond that, there is a ore area over here as well. The little interchange onto kind of an enclosed highway system here as it wraps back up, which is pretty unique way to do it. And then the actual ore mining itself going on here. Lots of trees through the middle. Big rocks as well, as if those big tooth bucket excavator things are ripping into the rocks to harvest the ore and whatnot. So this sits right on the edge of the map here. I'm not sure how much further he's planning to expand. It is just a 25 tile build. But there is a lot of nodes in here, so maybe he is approaching his node count. Beyond this, we'll come back over to where we were. I kind of checked out this whole corner of the city with the second beachfront down here. There's a little cargo port over here, which is a great use of some of the vanilla industrial zones to get these container stacks, which is always a nice go-to for a vanilla cargo port, isn't it, when you're left without the kind of really cool cargo stacks from the workshop. A really nice job of a vanilla cargo port here. Turned out very nicely, didn't it? A little bit of oil integrated in there as well before his container ships leave for pastures new. And I think that pretty much rounds out this corner of the map over here, doesn't it? I will save the CBD for last. Let's swoop around the side of the beach here where we can see another big grand mall sightline respecting going on here with the academic library. Lots more landscaped gardens. I really love what he's done here with the roadies. Kind of a triple layer of roadies down the main pathway here. Great sightline over to his hospital and the downtown from here. Very nice with that huge big mall up to the academic library there. But you're going to find these all over the city. It's really nice to see. Super inspiring use of pedestrian pathways again as well. I'm definitely leaving this city with some inspiration as to how we can use maybe more pedestrian pathways in the city. Definitely one of my favourite DLCs, plazas and promenades. Coming along the beach, we arrive at the Peanut Ball, which isn't an asset we see used too often. It's a pretty unique stadium, this one. Again, from Bad Peanuts sports venues, if you're wondering. Really good pack. And one of the hardest stadiums to use as well, but occupies a really nice kind of pier coming out here with Green Cities Residential, which is an interesting shout for this area. To have residential on a pier like this. Next to one of the big ferry terminals as well, where there are people using the bus system, which is always good to see. Nicely managed lines as well here. You're not getting any insane backlogs, which is good. Interesting, actually. What is the traffic flow for the city? 80% is good for a city of 115,000. That's really good. Especially with no traffic manager here either. I can spot a little custom tram stop over here, nestled into the suburb, as he begins his crawl up to medium density, and his eventual skyline over there. We'll keep heading down the coastline. Not too much done with the beaches, but it's kind of hard in vanilla, to be fair. There is very limited beach crops available in CS vanilla. Another little transport hub over here. Real integrated bus system. We're seeing a lot of these bus stops across the city. Next to more unique stadiums and some more university uniques as well. The School of Law sits over here in another landscaped garden alongside with another couple of university assets. I'm actually wondering what his university education is like. Yeah, 30,000 capacity, that doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of campus assets in this city, but he's a fan of them, as am I. I do love using the campus assets as much as possible. I think in vanilla, it really gives you that chunky infrastructure. You know, it's not just a 4x4 zone. When you want a big building, the campus repurposes itself really well for that, I think. Great sightline here again. The School of Law really centralises quite nicely there, doesn't it? We'll have to remember that for Rannoch's downtown, maybe, see if we can use this asset in the skyline. Continuing down the coastline, we arrive at yet another landscape garden using the CS Creators Library. And doubled up dirt pathways, which is very cool, isn't it? That really widens out the dirt path. Which is cool. You're going to double up your node usage there, though, so you have to be careful doing stuff like that, especially me. I am famous for hitting the node count at this point, but very inspiring regardless. A great use of that CS Creators Library as well, with some nice pathwork and parks and beaches and ponds around it. A little vanilla golf course sits right next door to this. This is very cool. We've seen these dirt pathways repurposed into golf courses and sand traps over this way before. Of course, partnered with the driving range asset and a little bit of parking out front. Where this does spill into another cargo port over here with lots more vanilla prop work, which is super, super nice. Pretty busy cargo port as well, this one. There's a little bit of traffic backing up here, but these assets are so heavily traffic drawing, so it's kind of hard to manage them properly, really. One-way systems can always be helpful, which there is one here. So back through. With lots of material storage. Hello, people. You guys alright? What's going on there, I wonder? What is this? Okay, so... I've never seen that happen before, I have to be honest. What asset is this? The cargo train terminal. Now, isn't that odd? I've never ever seen that happen. Maybe as they leave, they're reading this as the closest node. Never seen that before. That is funny, isn't it? But really nice rail work through here as well. Great respecting of industry. It's really put together a nice vanilla industrial vibe here. Before this then continues into another very heavily inspired Imperator build. I recognise this from Imperator's work, this big kind of oil spillway. I believe it does have a name. I think it's for oil overflow, if I remember rightly from watching Imperator's build. With a great vanilla rail yard integrated into it as well. Really cool to see that. A massive refinery complex. Again, using the monorails as mock oil pipelines is always a cool aesthetic, isn't it? Really great repurposing of assets across the city in multiple different builds here. And this continues down the coastline before we arrive into yet more industry, in one of the more interesting configurations I've ever seen, with campuses, monuments, parking, and the SpaceX Center, and 2 launch centers actually. A very unique combination of assets. I would never have thought to put campus next to the kind of the space age stuff, I suppose. So very unique build over there, with the end of the metro line. Before that spills into his countryside, and then this goes back down into yet more industry, with a great unique building here, one of the Africa ones. And content creator bridges, boat museums, the concert arena is over here with the plaza's unique buildings, and a spa hotel as well. Well, more industrial prop detailing comes back in, and really nice prop rows. Love seeing this sort of stuff in vanilla, with a generic industry and farming combo fishing harbour, which is quite cool. Well, I've never noticed those wooden piers as well either. Is this the algae farm? I think it is, isn't it? Seaweed farm. I have never ever noticed those wooden pillars before. Crazy. After thousands of hours, I've ever placed a seaweed farm. Very cool. We have a little bit of raised railway bridges here. Is this maybe some kind of, I guess, homage to maybe old abandoned rail lines that are now decommissioned, but maybe left a segment in to honour the heritage? I'm not sure. Not sure. And then it's either plus 81 or 18 plus, isn't it? I'm not sure which way we're supposed to read that, but I'm not sure what that's referencing either. If it is an 18 plus city, censorship is advised. Another little stadium over here before this spills into a mass green cities district on the edge of the downtown spaces we were examining earlier. There's a little bit of traffic through here, but I think that's just a busy interchange, isn't it? Yeah, it's another traffic lights here, but you know, it's not gridlocked, it is just a busy highway. You'd absolutely expect to see queues on ramps getting off of a major interchange like this, so nothing out of the realms of realism, I don't think. It is just a very busy interchange. Maybe some extra slip ramps needed just to take the pressure off of this one node, as everyone wants to get off here, don't they? And that kind of brings us back to where we were. We can then kind of swing back around into the centre of the map. We'll arrive at a major forestry build here. Very nice. There's a lot of these keys around here too, which is very nice all the way through here. Big forestry yard as well, with another cargo train terminal in here as well. The train system's actually laid out really nicely. It flows pretty well. Multiple different slip lanes off here, and doesn't seem to be any bending gradients, at least from this angle. Maybe, I don't know, there the train police might not be super happy with that, but I won't tell them if you won't. then this goes off to his outside connections. I maybe spoke a little too soon. The trade police will not like that. We won't linger on that one for too long. Yeah, so really cool to see a properly integrated train system kind of meandering through all these networks and not backing up either, which is always a challenge with vanilla trains. Trying to manage their flow and not creating any backups. It can quickly get out of hand, I think. Back up this side of the highway, we've got a massive factory complex with the electronics, food and paper factory all clustered together with some more oil extraction. And another massive campus with lots of landscaping, respecting of those big, chunky, important assets. This is the School of Medicine, I think, isn't it? Definitely a favourite asset, this one. Yeah, you can really see the love for campus in this city. I hope Atorbooks has taken inspiration from my love of the campus DLC. It is definitely one of the best ones in my opinion. I absolutely love it. Again, all nestled up against a big old train line, and then this spills us into his outer lying suburbia of the main CBD. We've got some more builds over here, more coal storage as a bit of a, what I'm guessing is supposed to be like a coal power plant, which is a really nice way to use these industrial storage buildings next to a power station, isn't it? I'll have to remember that one. I think the aesthetic of piled coal, cooling towers and smokestacks all lend itself to the power plant vibe, doesn't it? I really like that. More European suburbia out here as it blends into Brooklyns and Queens, which has some interesting configurations in the middle. There's another sports stadium over here with Metro and Brooklyn and Queens housing, some elder care mixed in with the hospital and services for the neighbourhood, which are also blended in really nicely there into the Brooklyn and Queens zoning, haven't they? Especially from kind of this perspective here. I really like how that looks. Beyond that, we come up toward yet another factory complex. There's so much industry in this city, isn't there? Has he managed to use all the factories, I wonder? Let's have a little look into our factory tab. Yeah, every single one has been placed down, which is impressive. Then storage next to here as well with a little bit of industrial evolution. Another massive train yard here as well, handling the import and export for the factory district, it looks like. Very nice. You can see another stadium over here as well. More parking, lots more public transport integration as well. Can we see any people waiting on here? Not an overly busy train line, this one. But maybe it does get a little bit busier on a match day, for which there is one about to happen as the crowds gather. I bet this has a great view to the skyline, doesn't it? If we dare to kind of sit down in the baseball bowl here and watch the field sports team play. Oh, and they're gone. Okay, I guess that was half time. All the match ended. Very cool. Another interchange over here as well, similar design for what we saw earlier. Different angled switch ramps around here. Which then brings us into his main CBD skyline, which has been really nicely respected with, again, lots more pedestrianisation and plaza spaces. The stock exchange is in here. Really nice central custom strip with all the plazas. A nice big bus centralisation into another metro plaza. It's not often you see two of these things in the same city. But this one is really busy, not as busy as the waterfront one. But still getting some really decent ridership. With more really wonderful prop work over here as well. Love that. Nice use of some of the financial districts buildings around here too. These are pretty hard to use, these, especially if you're going to be zoning, but he's done a great job of blending them into the grander, kind of more, I guess, central business district-y financial skyline, isn't it? Metro running through here too. How are we doing for kind of internal metro ship riders? Let's have a look at this. Hopefully, lots of walkability. Very nice, look at that. Everyone walking down into that central plaza space, which I imagine is drawing a lot of attention with all the parks around here. Great use of those kind of glass plazas too. Then this spills into some mid-century modern, which then goes off into a park, which we'll take a look at in a second as well. And then more wall-to-wall over this way with European suburbia and Brooklyn and Queens mixed in. We'll be across the highway with a big interchange over here. A big old spaghetti boy, isn't it? But great vanilla interchange, always harder to do, especially in a compact space like this. With I guess it's what is probably a 4-stack interchange here. But a great flow for vanilla. He's getting no backup. This thing flows like a dream, which is super cool. Over this way we have this big old grand park that borders the airport we were at earlier. I missed the observatory, didn't I? There's even a metro line coming up here as well, which is, where's that going to? Back to the waterfront line? Yeah, it does. So this is bringing people up to an observatory. Great use of the keys here too. With some more campus plazas. You must be spending a fortune on those campus plaza upkeeps. And then that pretty much rounds us out this side of the city. We pop back over to yet another transport hub over here with more pedestrian areas, which is very nice. Cute little bus station over here too, which is getting some nice ridership. How many lines have we got coming in here, I wonder? How has this been configured? It's a 3-line bus stop with a couple of metros lines in here too, and another in-city bus station. There's also another football stadium right next to a large amusement park over here as well, with another little water feature using the keys. More metro infrastructure. It's a real integrated rail and metro city, isn't it? The metro in particular is getting some nice ridership too. Let's watch a little train arrive here. Very nice indeed. And then the park has some, of course, pedestrian pathways integrated into it. And then a big, nice, compact park space that borders up against that embanked rail that we've seen flowing around the city as well. Love to see a train pass by here if we can possibly eye one approaching. That's great layering, that, isn't it? That's a fantastic shot there. With the metro passing over the road and the rail. Very, very nice. Big fan of that. The clock tower is also over here as well, with one of the sunken stations and another spa hotel. Before that brings us full circle back into the academic library park that we saw earlier. I think that's pretty much everything that we've seen today. It's a real unique blend of vanilla assets. He's done a fantastic job of building this. With clear inspiration from Imperator as well. It's always nice to be able to kind of identify a creator's style when you're looking at a city like this. But Toolbox has done a really wonderful vanilla build here. There's some fantastic ideas. Super inspiring use of pedestrian pathways as well across most of the city. And I will definitely leave this showcase with lots of ideas. If you'd like to submit a city for City Showcase, there is a link to a Google form down below. Don't forget to check it out and fill it in if you would like to have your city featured in the next episode of City Showcase. Massive shout out to the patrons that support the channel, with a special roll call to Louis Adlam, Andrew Perez and O'Hare Casino. If you'd like to get involved in that, links down to Instant Gaming and Patreon are down below. Otherwise, let me know what you think of this one. An enormous and very well put together vanilla 20-file tile build. Very well done at Toolbox. Great build, my friend. Otherwise, let's thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.